Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Satish. Uh, in this video, what we look at is the kind of expenses you can expect in India after you return from either US or Europe or Singapore, right? Or all any of the foreign countries. So the reason for doing this is it's important for you to understand that if you are used to a certain lifestyle, when you're living abroad, when you come back, you kind of want to maintain that in that level or make it even better, right? Otherwise, you're going to have challenges. Why did I move? Why did I relocate? All these things. So in this video, what I will do is I will actually look at our expenses. I'll show an itemized list, literally, so just to give a background, I tracked my expenses diligently for 6 months. Last year I tracked for literally 6 months, and I've captured every single thing, and that's how I was able to come up with a number, at least for ourselves, right? And again, this totally depends on the family, but I'll set some expectations, right? What we are looking at in terms of expenses, right? So we live in a gated community currently, and the gated community is has all the facilities we need. So we own a car that is a 7-seater car, and we travel quite a bit to our native place. That's about 4 hours away, and the kind of produce we consume, all of that is I would say pretty reasonably, not exactly completely organic, but I would say 30-40% of organic stuff that we consume, and other things are around that, right? And we basically have a lifestyle, I would say, I don't know how to, everything is relative, right? Upper middle class, luxury, how you define it, it all depends. But we are living in similar to the lifestyle what we had. We are not compromising on things that we had, when we were living outside of India. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to look at the expenses and then talk about them. Just look at the expenses item by item. So, I think the first one is, right, again, really we'll go by item so that you really see why the numbers have added up, right? So we take milk that's organic, and it's buffalo milk. It's about a liter is about 120 rupees, right? I mean, this is probably an expensive. If you look at it, normal milk is about 50 rupees, right? But again, we choose to do that, right? Again, this is a choice. So that comes to 7,200. Vegetables, eggs, so we try to get fresh vegetables, comes to 15,000. If you just look at an egg, right, an egg is about 12 rupees, so I consume an overall, if we look at in a day, we consume 10 eggs. That actually is pretty big number, right? If you see, so that also just adds up. Fruits, in fact, fruits is, if you see 15,000 is, I would say, more or less high and low. It's actually high. The reason is because, my kids and we are used to eating berries, like strawberries and blueberries and all of that. So just to give perspective, blueberries can be anywhere from 200 to 250 rupees, right? So we don't really compromise on, buying berries because, okay, this is what we were used to, right? So I don't want to really go back on and cut down on our lifestyle, especially food things, right? So that's why. And again, cooking pulses, right? So these we try to get organic at times. Meat, we eat chicken also. We try to get delicious, that is slightly less antibiotics or no antibiotics. That's what they claim. So it's slightly expensive. So if you go to a store that is next to you, right, you might save some of these, but we choose to go with this because these, I think, are our preferences and what we are used to. The rent is a big number, right? If you see, it's 65,000. Yeah, we don't live in our own house. We have apartments, but again, we choose to live in a gated community because the rent is for a 3 BHK house in JP Nagar in Bangalore. It's about 65,000 inclusive, all inclusive. So that's how much we're paying. And power bill comes to about 3,500. Just on the rent part, right? Why is it high? Many people come and ask. So if you're looking at our apartment, right, it's a 3 BHK apartment, and we have all the amenities. We have swimming pool, we have basketball court, we have badminton court, we have a bowling alley, we have 4 indoor, basically, kids play areas. So we have a beautiful greenery inside. So it's about a 1,500 flat, gated community, and they do a lot of good events. So I guess this is one of the reasons, why we are actually staying instead of staying in our own home, right? So I want to make the transition easier for our family and ourselves, right? So that's why we're paying a little higher rent, but I guess that's life. In fact, if I wanted a bigger house, that's going to be 1 lakh, right? So yeah, I'm kind of yes and no, right? Again, not everybody is happy with the number. It's high, but yeah, it's what it is. So power about 3,500, mobile, 1,000 rupees for the family, right? We have TV subscriptions up to 2,500. This could be Z5, Netflix, all these things, right? Sony One, all these things. Internet about 1,500. So we have a 7-seater car. That's basically I would say 6-seater, right? Innova car, Innova High Cross. We spend about 20,000 on petrol. told surprisingly it's high. The reason is, we travel to our native place. Every time we go and come, it's about 500 to 600 rupees, right? So we do 2 trips, we are done, and local travel, all of that adds up. We have a bike for local travel, right? A motorbike for dropping my kids for classes and all. Car insurance and bike insurance, that comes to about 5,000. So I paid about recently I paid is about about 40,000, 55,000, right? So it comes to about 5,000 per month. Gas, we use 2 cylinders more or less, right? It's about 1,500. Eating out, very very minimal. I'm actually putting bare minimum. Actually spend more than that, but I'm just putting a rough number here, about 10,000. So we have a maid who comes in the morning and spends a couple hours and cleans up everything, right? So we pay 5,000 for her. Again, we don't have a cook also, so some people have cooks, so they would add another 7,000-8,000 for that. So we have a person who washes car, takes about 1,000, and I do like cleaning in a outside place, that comes to another 1,000 or so. So that's the major expenses, right? Looking at kids, right, we spend time them. My kid, I have 2 kids. My daughter, I send her to like Hindi and Kannada class, some are online. My son goes to Kumon class, so we spend about 10,000 on that. Kids enrichment classes, I send them to dance, music, roller skating, that comes to about 8,000, right? All in all, I guess it's plus or minus 1,000, but I'm trying to put a rough number at least. For us, this is how much it comes to. We do like some miscellaneous shopping, And these are could be higher, but I guess this is a very nominal, right? Shopping, general shopping here and there, 10,000 miscellaneous shopping, right? And miscellaneous expenses about 5,000 I put in. But some of these are actually more. But I just put in a rough number so that I'll also show my real expenses also. These are 90% accurate for what our expenses are, but I track them to just see how close we are, right? For 6 months, so I'll show that number also. So my parents live with us, so for the medicines we spent about 10,000. Last year, crazy. We spent so much money on just going to doctors, right? Kids were getting sick. So all in all, I think I spent 6,000 per month. That's an average we really spend. We go to gym, so gym about 4,000 for 2 of us, right? Health insurance, so we have taken an health insurance that's about 50,000 a year, comes to 4,200. So we just add up these, right? It comes to 2,37,000. That's what we're coming to, and yearly it's about 28,48,800. It's pretty much 29 lakhs, right? So these are daily expenses, day-to-day expenses, right? Now let's look at some things that are one time, or things that we have done, right? So, when you go to events and all, you buy gifts, right? The weddings, the birthdays and all of that. Last year I tracked, we spent more than 1 lakh actually, So it's approximately, this is the approximate number. 1 lakh is what you give out to people, for events and all of that. So we did the travel abroad, and also we spent about 8 lakhs on that, 7-8 lakhs last year, local and abroad travel. But this can also be cut down again. Again, we travel more than what is required, I guess, so that's why it's higher. We bought clothes for, and it's a festival, or anyway, there is a wedding, you kind of buy clothes for the family. So it's about 1 lakh. Could be even higher, but again, this is the nominal number I put in, A school fees, right, comes to about 4 lakhs. My kids go to, a school that is a CBSE school, it's NPS, and they charge about 1,60,000, right? So we'll talk about schools, but for now, specifically in another video, but for now, the school fees for both the kids, right, it comes to about 4 lakhs. So this is 14 lakhs in addition to what that happens. So if I add up both of them, it's basically that number and this number, it comes to 42 lakhs, 48,800. So roughly we are spending about 3.5 lakhs. So this is actually after tax. You have to remember, this is actually what you're spending after the tax. So it may look very, very high for some of you on the outset, but we'll look at that, right, and how it comes to, right. Now, just if you want to look at these numbers from a real picture, right? So these are my real numbers actually, So I tracked literally for the last from June all the way to December, and it comes to pretty close. So approximately, we spent about 18, 19, 20 lakhs almost in about 7 months, right? It comes to 2.8, and without adding this, all of these expenses, it comes to 40 lakhs, right? So there is, you see, 42, 40. There is like 1 or 2 lakh difference, but it's not like too much off, and these one I track do diligently, right? You can see, in this video. So basically, I use an app, to track all of these. So you can see in this app, right, where I have basically tracked it every single expense, and that's what it is. These are real numbers actually, what we spent. People can argue this is so high, but again, if you want to choose to have a lifestyle that you basically want to live with what you were in outside of India, then you may have to shell this kind of money, right? Now, if you want to cut down on this, imagine you have your own home and then you don't pay for rent because rent is a big number, 65,000, right? And let's say there are no parents' expenses also, right? Then this literally comes down to 1,62,000, and then your yearly expenses are about 19 lakhs just for the 20 lakhs, right? For your home expenses. And let's say you cut down on your gifts, you cut down on your vacation. Be moderate, right? Again, because again, it's a choice you can make, but some of these you could definitely cut down. Again, it's a choice, right? So if you want to cut down, let's say minimize your gifts, maybe just for birthday parties and, vacation, you just spend 3 lakhs, and then clothes also you get it down, and school fees also you kind of get it down. You go to a school that is slightly lower, or stay next to the school and, cut down on the bus transportation. So even if you add, this is 19 plus 6, that comes to 25 lakhs. So, this is about 2,15,000, right? So if you look at it, your expenses can range anywhere from 3,50,000, from 2,15,000 to, 3 lakh, basically, yeah. So I'm just going to put all of them in one place so that if you can see it. So it can range anywhere from 2,15,000 per month to 3,54,000. So again, you have to remember these numbers are basically money you would need after paying taxes. So this does not include, I guess miscellaneous expenses. So I guess now that you have looked at it, so let's look at the other part of it. Yeah. So now that you looked at the numbers, it could sound alarmingly high, and people say you are wasting so much money and all of that. But again, it's a choice we choose to make. Basically, we didn't want to really compromise on the things we eat. Didn't want to compromise on the lifestyle we have at around us, right? So that's why it is probably significantly higher. But if you want to really be happy with what you wanted to have in outside of India, and want to experience the similar conditions here, you will have to shell out that kind of money. And the reason these numbers are important for you is in the future, in the next videos, we will actually look at what is your number that you will really need when you want to return back, right? How much money should I have in the bank? How much money should I really save up before I move back, so that I don't have to think about all of these? Or we'll also look at some of these FIRE numbers, right? Financial independent, retire early kind of numbers that we see all over the place nowadays, right? So we'll try to make sense of these numbers when you're doing the computations. But all in all, this is the numbers, guys. So just take it with a pinch of salt, right? Again, it could be higher for us, but you could really cut it down further lows. It's up to you how you choose to live. Yeah. Again, thank you for watching. Do please leave your comments and feedback. If you have any special request for video, please add it down. We'll try to do it. Thank you so much.